IndieFerm is a craft beer and kombucha brewery that also features a tap room. Oh, they also have a store where you can buy all the things necessary to brew right in your own home.
What really fascinates me is like the different Belgian styles and different German styles of beer, and that definitely is reflected in our selection here.
Are you thirsty? I am. Let's go.
The brewer's job is basically to make a happy home for yeast. Yeast really do the work of turning sugar into beer, and what we do is provide a clean, safe environment with lots of sugar derived from malt, and let the yeast do the work from there. So we'll take a sack of grain, we'll weigh it out on the scale depending on the recipe, and then put it through the crusher. That's whole grain barley that's been malted, and we're going to crush it now. And then you can see the difference here. Now that's been crushed to the right level. We bring all that grain here into the building to the brew system, and this is one of our mash tuns. This is the next step here. This one's clean, ready to be used for the next mash. So we stir everything together, and what that does is that activates the enzymes that are naturally in the barley. So we'll drain out of here and then transfer with a pump into the boil kettles. But we end up with maybe 75 to 80 gallons of beer ready to be fermented. The hops for bittering go in at the beginning of the boil, so they usually boil for about an hour. And then a lot of times, especially with the hazier, hoppier IPAs, we'll add some more hops even after we turn the flame off. 31 gallons is a barrel of beer. We'll do close to 5 today and close to 5 tomorrow. End up with somewhere around 9 to 10 barrels of beer. We set up the canning line next to the bright tanks and can about a case every 40 or 45 seconds. So 24 cans every 45 seconds or so. So now we're in our homebrew shop. These are the different grains that we have. They're mostly arranged from light to dark. Homebrewers can take it home and do the same thing that we do, just on a little bit smaller scale. Here we've got the grain, we've also got the hops, the yeast, and other flavorings and equipment and stuff like that. This is the area where we ferment the kombucha. Kombucha is fermented sweet tea. You start with a tea blend and add a bunch of sugar, let it steep overnight in our case, and then when it's cooler in the morning, we come back and add the SCOBY, the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. We have 7 or 8 different flavors that we bottle. We chose 3 of my favorite flavors today for this little tasting. Strawberry mojito, which has got a mint tea and actual real strawberries. Raspberry hibiscus, it's got a raspberry flavored tea, includes real raspberry. And then peach ginger buzz, another one of my favorites.
I don't remember what the first beer I had, but I know swung my taste buds and said, this man makes very good beer.
And come in here to IndieFerm for many years and love coming here and enjoy the beer. Every time I come, try something different.
I definitely come to enjoy the people that are here. They make IndieFerm what it is.
Been there about, what, 3.5 years now, so yeah, that's what you get. 3.5 years, you get on a beer can. How about that?
Come to IndieFerm, best beer ever.
By the spring of 2015, we were brewing beer about 50 gallons at a time in the basement of my barn. And then after about a year and a half of that, we moved here to Camelot Drive. Got the industrial space here and the tap room up front, which you're looking at now, and the brewery is in the back. What really fascinates me is like the different Belgian styles and different German styles of beer, and that definitely is reflected in our selection here. So we have our Pilsner, which is a traditional German Czech Pilsner. And then we've got the old school IPA, which is a pre-haze gray style IPA with Cascade and Centennial hops, mostly that we grew ourselves in our hop farm. The Wedding Vows While Standing in a Shallow Grave, that's a New England IPA. And here we've got Blackfeather Porter, which is named for our neighbors over at Blackfeather Horse Rescue. And we donate $1 per pint served to the Horse Rescue. When it came time to name my brewery, I decided that I wanted to be the brewery that doesn't use marketing to twist people's minds and make them want to buy the beer. So independent fermentation became or fermentations plural, we're IndieFerm. I personally don't care for the TV screen menu boards that you see a lot of places in breweries. I'd rather, despite my horrible handwriting, just write it in chalk. During COVID, it was necessary to actually increase the size of the beer garden. So that became a space for bands to play in. So it's kind of our little version of the Hatch Shell. And we have bands every Saturday, my band included, every other week. Our DJ, when we have a DJ, he plays nothing but 78 RPM records from 1955 and before.
Say 78s from
say 1895 to 1950.
This place is really all about the beer and conversation and the community of people. Friendly, personable location where you can go, very unlike a typical bar.
No matter how you wet your whistle, IndieFerm has a drink for you. Well, that's my perspective. Hey, New England, what's your perspective? IndieFerm Brewing in Plymouth, Mass.